In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the SEO for Events widget. The SEO for Events widget is an essential widget, and all essential widgets can only be used once per page. These widgets also enable Google Rich Cards, and Google Rich Cards are like the next generation of rich snippets. Google Rich Cards basically allow you to display search results for specific pages in a unique kind of way that makes the page really stand out. Because of that, it's very important that you verify the markup generated by the widget, and I will show you how to do that at the end of this video. This widget comes with two different widgets. It comes with one that allows you to display information for a list of events, and then one that allows you to display information for a single event. In this video, I'm going to be showing you the single event widget. So you're going to start by dragging and dropping the widget onto the page. First, you're going to want to make sure that it is pinned, because if it isn't pinned, it might throw off your layout and you won't know why. And then I'm going to move it, and it's already on the top layer. Alright, so I'm going to put it up here. If you've used any of the other essential widgets, then you're probably familiar with the version, robots, and web page section. If you're not familiar with those, I'll put a link to a video that explains those in the description, or you can click the icon that should have appeared in the top right corner. I do, however, need to add a description and an image to be able to show you how the Facebook preview part will work, so I'm going to grab the description real quick. The description should be under 160 characters. Google is becoming a little bit more lax on this, but 160 characters is probably the amount that you should use in the description. So I'm going to just copy some of this and paste it in the description. A basic guide or rule of thumb is, as long as there isn't a scroll bar or very little of a scroll bar, it's probably under 160 characters. That's just something that I've personally found. Alright, the fancy category, go with art. And then I will use the main image that I have back here for the image that will show up in all social media previews. Again, if any of that didn't make sense, look for a link in the description that will go over the version, robots, and web page section of the essential widgets. Alright, now the event section. First you have the type, so this is probably an education event. And then under name, it's Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson. That's the name of the event, not the performer. The performer is going to go down here. So in this case, the name of the event is actually the same thing as the performer. So I'm going to add a performer, and I'm just going to copy this. And then the performer URL, you can turn this off if you want, but I'm going to leave it turned on, and the performer URL should be a URL specifically for whoever is performing. So I'm going to go to Google, and I just realized that I spelled his name incorrectly, so I'm going to change that real quick. Okay, so I'm going to paste that into the browser, and the URL for the performer should be a URL that a lot of people are familiar with, and one of the best is going to be Wikipedia. So I'm going to get the Wikipedia URL, and I cut that, and I'm going to go back and paste it as the performer URL. The next section is the date, and if you have multiple show times, then you're probably going to want to turn the time off. If you have multiple show times, you also should have an end date, so basically a day that the performance or specific show is no longer going to be performing. But I'm going to add a time because this particular event is only going to be happening once. It's going to be happening in 2017, so I got to change the year to 2017. It's in February, and it's on the 15th. And so with this one, since it's only one specific event, the end time isn't super important. If you know exactly how long the show is going to go, then you can put the end time, but you don't really have to. So for the venue, it's Eccles Theater. Then I'm going to copy that and paste it into Google to get the address. So I got to find the theater first. So this is it. So I'm going to copy the address and make sure that you use the address that Google gives you. You might know of a better address for the place, but you're going to want to use the one that Google gives you. And then paste that in there. Alright, and then the venue URL, I'm going to also add that. So again, in the way that I found the URL for Neil deGrasse Tyson, you just paste it into Google. And if there's a Wikipedia page, that's great. But usually with a venue, it's better if there's going to be a specific page that's dedicated to that venue. So with this one, there is. So I'm going to copy that URL. And paste it right in there. Alright, lastly is the price. So I'm going to actually go back to where you can buy his tickets. And one of the things that I need to enter is the ticket URL. So I'm actually just going to right click on the button that goes to buy tickets, and I'm going to click copy link address and go into event and add ticket admission URL. So I'm going to paste that right in there. So add the price. Okay. So there are different prices depending on where you would like to sit. So for a situation like this, you have two different price types. You either have flat rate, which means that it's just a single rate for everybody that's going to the event, or you have price range. For this one, I'm going to select price range. And looks like the low is 55 and the high is 150. And then just make sure that you have the correct currency selected. Alright, I'm just going to double check everything. Everything looks good. And now I'm going to publish the URL so that you can see how to verify everything. So I'm going to copy the URL and then go back into the widget. And under more info, there are 3 sections to verify the SEO. So Twitter card is for Twitter. Open Graph is for just about every other social media. And schema is the one that is very important because this is the one. And then schema is how you verify the rich card information. And this is the one that's extremely important to verify. So I'm going to click on that one. Then right here, I'm going to paste the URL and click Run Test. Alright, this is what it will look like if everything is valid. If you see a warning, that only means that Google is recommending that you add something else, but it does not mean that the markup is invalid. If it's invalid, you will see an error. So this is all the markup that the widget generated. Okay, and then down here, it's recommending that you put an end date. So hopefully you can see that in the video. But it's recommending that you put an end date, and again, if you know that information, then that's great. If not, it's still valid markup. So next, I'm just going to verify Open Graph. So again, paste the URL, click Fetch New Scrape Information. And if it doesn't load the image the first time, that's okay. Just have it fetch the new information again. Sometimes it takes a second to download the image. And there we go. And then Twitter card will actually not validate because when you publish to a temporary Business Catalyst site, Business Catalyst inserts some robots text that makes it so that Twitter's crawler is not able to access the page. So I will just show you anyway. When you paste the URL and click Preview Card, it says there's an error fetching the page because it's denied by robots text. So when you publish to an actual live site, it's going to work without a problem. So that is how the SEO for Events widget works.